So Christopher, you are going to be speaking at PHP UK in London in February 2026. What will you be telling the audience all about?
Well, it's another AI talk, but it's basically AI hands-on. So not about doing vibe coding or doing how you will transform your development processes, but it's about how you build AI-infused features, like practical hands-on in your application, in your PHP application especially.
Amazing. So we will be able to wire up our PHP applications to other things that use AI. Any particular examples of stuff?
So the project that I'm mainly going to talk about is Symphony AI. That's a project we've been building on for like 2 years nearly. And our main concern is being vendor agnostic and still build realistic features in PHP, in Symfony. And for me, it's especially important that we don't only build chatbots, right? So I think chatbot examples are quite handy and easy to understand and follow, and especially with ChatGPT, right? But we can apply AI not only with LLMs, but also with object detection on videos or images. We can do some kind of text transcription on videos, and those kind of features enable us to build like really practical things.
I see. So from my PHP application, I could use the library that you are working on to go and get a transcription of, say, a video, for example.
It's mostly about invoking models. So it can be like REST API, and we go with OpenAI Whisper. We can use something that is coming from Hugging Face and use it locally in PHP. And the most important thing, it's a PHP component. So it's Symfony, but it's Symfony components, not the entire framework.
I see.
So you are not required to run this entire Symfony framework, but can use parts of it.
I see. So if I've never used Symfony at all, and for whatever reason, I'm not about to start using the framework, I can still use this library that you're making, and that will help me abstract away all of the communication between various different AI services.
With a goal to be vendor agnostic, switching from Gemini to Anthropic to OpenAI or Hugging Face. So that's something that we want to avoid, that we get vendor lock, right?
I see. Brilliant, brilliant. So when one of them becomes maybe too expensive to use, we can switch to another, for example.
Or it goes out of business, right? So I think a lot of AI hype is about that as well, right?
Oh, I see. So it's even more important that we can just switch to the only one still standing.
Yeah.
Because by February, there might only be one still standing.
So I need to update the slides all over the time, I guess.
Yes, it's going to be constant hard work for you this one. How's it been working on? So you say you've started working on this for 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that been like?
So I started off like only looking at GPT, trying to understand what's going on there. And there was the HTTP like REST API of OpenAI, and I tried to get an understanding what it's about. How can I use this? Like not only relying on ChatGPT as a product. And then I discovered vendor by vendor, ending up by Hugging Face, looking at Hugging Face, and like it's like the packagist of AI ecosystem, and it's amazing what's out there. 10,000 of open source models that you can use to do all kind of stuff. And I guess we transformed from focusing on LLMs to basically empowering everything that is based on AI models.
I see. So for people who aren't overly familiar with AI, we've got a concept of AI models. And I mean, what's an AI model then for people who don't know about these things?
Basically, an AI model is something that is trained to accomplish a specific task on data. For example, like a large language model is trained to complete a sentence or answer a question, or an object detection model is for recognizing patterns or objects in images. And the inference of those models is kind of tricky on your own hardware. That's why REST APIs are quite common for that. But nowadays, PHP is coming more up to speed, and also like leveling up to Python that we can do inference in PHP as well.
Okay, brilliant. So we've got a system where you've got your PHP code, then you've kind of got a layer to talk to various models, and it's kind of those two bits that your Symphony AI package has put together roughly.
So for the platform inference or model inference, the platform layer is the important one. next to it, we have a store layer that is about, especially when it comes to retrieval-augmented generation. It's really important to have an abstraction there as well. But on top, we put an agent layer. So this is where it really gets sophisticated, and we can integrate multi-step invocations of models, bringing intelligence to PHP applications.
I see. So, for example, you could have something where you maybe talked to your PHP app, and then there's something converting the audio into text, and then that would get delegated off to something else, and then maybe the inference set would decide what's the best AI model to answer that particular question.
Exactly. So we can have speech to text as a front runner, having voice as the way to communicate with the application, convert it into text, having a lightweight model first that knows how to delegate to a sub agent when there is more heavy stuff to do. And tool calling is a very essential feature on that level. Yeah.
So I keep hearing this term when people talk about AI, MCP. What is an MCP and why should I care about it?
So MCP as a model context protocol is a solution to the problem of distributed agents. So when you want to integrate with a model, with a client, for example, Claude Desktop or your IDE or ChatGPT, you can provide tools or prompts or some other resources across to that client with exposing an MCP server. And we've been building the MCP SDK for PHP to enable also PHP applications to act as an MCP server.
Okay.
We are still working on bringing also in an MCP client, working in a collaboration with support of the PHP Foundation, bringing together different projects from Drupal and working together with Kieran, who's a PHP MCP contributor from the start.
And one of the benefits of these is that if you've got something to talk to your IDE, presumably you can put guardrails in to make sure it only does some things, and it.
So with tools in MCP, for example, or resources in MCP, you can quite narrow down exactly what you want to expose and what the client should act on, or what kind of mutations or operations are available. So what you could think of is building your own development MCP server that you want to hook into your IDE. I think quite common ones are those for GitHub and Jira, for example, that are still around, already around. And if you have some special integrations, I don't know, with your monitoring or logging system, that's something that you can easily build then.
I see. So you could, for example, on the Jira bit, if you task something to do some work, then the MCP that talks to Jira, because you could only give it the ability to say, well, here's I think I've done this task and here's a link to the PR. And you say, well, I'm not going to let you delete tickets and do anything else.
Yeah, exactly. You can
have that kind of control.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, excellent. So someone will see your talk, and then the takeaways will be they'll actually be able to start implementing this in their own projects, won't they?
That's the goal of the talk. The talk is about what can we do in PHP now.
Yeah.
So it's more like an inspiration for your next refinement. Basically, when you're approaching your backlog and thinking oh, how could we do this? And now you're able to understand how you could use AI as well, maybe for the next generation of features in your product.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That sounds excellent. Really looking forward to your talk, which will be on the 20th of February in London at PHP UK. There'll be links to the tickets somewhere where you're watching this video.
Really looking forward to it.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.